Right now, somewhere in the world, someone is putting out their last cigarette. The moment they do, their body begins fighting to stay alive. Smoking kills more than 8 million people every year. Because of that toll, it is easy to assume the physical damage is permanent. But your recovery begins a mere 20 minutes after that last puff. Inside that very first 20-minute window, your heart rate begins dropping, and your blood pressure starts improving toward a normal baseline. This animation shows exactly why that happens. Nicotine causes blood vessels to tighten and constrict. Once that chemical disappears, the cardiovascular system begins to relax, allowing circulation to safely expand again. Your biology knows how to repair itself. This rescue mission launches the exact moment the toxic stress is removed. 8 hours later, the recovery enters a new phase. Cigarette smoke contains carbon monoxide, a toxic gas that binds to your red blood cells and starves your organs of oxygen. This graph tracks the chemical shift occurring in your blood at hour 8. Carbon monoxide takes a steep dive, while oxygen levels rise sharply. As oxygen levels climb, major organs finally receive the vital gas they were starving for, lighting up with new energy. Within the span of a single workday, your body effectively stops suffocating, laying the groundwork for systemic cellular repair. By the 24-hour mark, your risk of a heart attack is already decreasing. But as your heart heals, a severe biological friction is starting in your brain. Your brain uses dopamine pathways to regulate reward and pleasure. Because nicotine hijacked these pathways, its absence causes the system to crash. The receptors run dry and begin firing erratically. Thus, chemical depletion triggers anxiety, irritability, and intense cravings that peak around day 3, before the receptors slowly begin generating dopamine and stabilizing naturally. Even during this peak discomfort, nerve endings are healing, causing your senses of taste and smell to rapidly sharpen. The agony of those first 3 days is the physical evidence of your brain rebuilding its chemical independence. Between weeks 2 and 12, the focus shifts from the brain's withdrawal to the physical recovery of the lungs. Your airways are lined with tiny hair-like structures called cilia, which act as microscopic sweepers. Toxic smoke paralyzes these cilia, laying them flat. But without that daily wave of toxins, they begin twitching back to life and swaying upright. These sweepers immediately get to work, clearing out years of accumulated mucus and debris from deep inside the lungs. This is why many people actually cough more after they quit. The lungs are finally able to push out trapped toxins. That cough is the mechanical proof that your lungs are successfully cleaning themselves. Through months 3 to 9, breathing becomes easier and ordinary physical activities feel less exhausting. Beneath the surface, airway inflammation drops and the risk of respiratory infections falls significantly. By this stage, your body has moved out of emergency triage and into a state of sustained, compounding health. At the 365-day mark, the long-term biological shift becomes permanent. This bar chart visualizes the change in coronary heart disease risk. Compared to someone who continues to smoke, a 1-year quitter sees their risk dropping by half. A single decision, repeated every day for a year, removes a major cause of mortality. Healing continues well into the future. Stroke risk continues to fall, cancer risks decrease, and lung damage slows. This timeline proves why cumulative damage can be halted and reversed, lengthening your life expectancy. These statistics become a lived reality, waking up without struggling to breathe, and gaining years to spend with the people you love. Nicotine addiction is powerful, and relapse is common, yet every smoke-free day matters to yourselves. Regardless of how many years someone has smoked, the body is designed to initiate these repairs the moment the toxins stop. That biological fight for survival begins exactly 20 minutes after the last cigarette. If this science helped you, share it with someone trying to quit. Quitting triggers an immediate biological rescue mission,